Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fatshark weekly live stream. Today is a Meet the Devs section format thing going on, and we have a couple of special guests with us today. We have...
Special guests?
Well, we have Tom. He's not very special. But we do have a very special guest, which is Magnus, one of our writers. We're actually our only writer at Fatshark.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's me.
That's you. How you doing?
I do get some hired help, though. But,
That's true.
But it's a kind of lonely uphill battle sometimes. So
Sure.
yeah.
Absolutely. I understand that, killing characters off and
Yeah.
being negative.
And just making my voice heard. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to talk with Magnus today, learn a little bit about what it's like being a writer in the games industry, talk about how he got into Fatshark, and any advice he may have for other people aspiring to be writers in the future or game developers. Tom is with us, as always,
Hello.
gameplay programmer here at Fatshark.
I was here on the long stream as well.
Absolutely, he was. Those of you who were there for that will know what he's talking about. And behind the screen over here is our mysterious stream master, aka Mr. Hand, Mr. Blondie, who's just come out as an alliance player in World of Warcraft, apparently. So that's interesting.
I've known this for a long time.
He's got a tattoo.
He does have a tattoo. Do you want to show the tattoo on stream?
No, it's not going to happen.
There we go. So Blondie is officially our alliance player at the office. Did you guys play Warcraft at all?
Nope.
I do.
What do you play, Tom?
Mix.
Play
Impartial.
All right, moving on from Warcraft back to Warhammer, where the real cool stuff happens. On today's show, we're going to be doing a classic news rundown of what's going on with Vermintide here at Fatshark. We'll do a community spotlight where we showcase some of the coolest pieces of art that have come in this week. We're going to be meeting Magnus today in our Meet the Dev section. Meeting Magnus sounds really funny. So that's going to be good. We'll take your questions from the chat and from the forums, from Reddit, those places where you can ask the questions, and we'll round off with a giveaway and a subscriber shout out. Today we're giving away a couple of hats, which is stream tradition, and Magnus actually knows a bit of backstory on the specific hat that we're giving out today, so he's going to be talking about that soon. But let's go into the community spotlight. Mr. Blondie, would you like to show off the cool stuff for this week?
Surprise face.
All right, what are we looking at here, guys?
I have seen this before.
I have too.
So
You
this
guys?
is by Inky Blackfire on the Steam forums, which it's Carillion, obviously.
Yes.
It's obviously Carillion the Whale Watcher.
I see it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see it.
The resemblance? I thought it was the Witch Hunter.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Where I thought it was because you don't often see art with Carillion wearing this hat.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I'm kind of embarrassed now since I write the descriptions for the hats and I don't remember which one it is. So
I think there are several of them that have the same design, and since we can't see the colors.
Yeah, that's true.
So if anybody knows, they can just write, and I can sit here in shame, and
They know more than you.
yes,
That's
they
a very
do.
nice piece, though. Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool.
Love the dual daggers as well. Or is that? It's the dual swords,
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
swords.
It might be half and half.
It might be. You can't see the other ones.
That's
so-
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Could be anything.
Then we also have by Inky Blackfire,
Oh, yeah.
a really
That's
cool
cool.
Kruger piece.
Oh, that is nice.
Nice.
That's similar to the Witch Hunter one that we saw.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was Inky Blackfire as well. I don't
Oh,
remember.
very cool.
I'm not sure. I can't
Does this one
remember.
have a?
Yeah.
But
Does
it's
this
cool.
one have a title or anything? I'm just
Uh,
thinking this is.
Kruber
I think it was just
has an
Kruber.
ale.
Yeah.
Kruber wishes you were an ale. That's my title.
Well,
It looks like one of these like thinking about the war things.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
because it captures some of his. There is, although he's a kind of a cherry type, and he's kind of a cool dude in many respects. There is darkness within him. You know? So yeah, I like it.
Very nice.
And then
Finally.
we have by Brain Eater.
Oh man, that's cool.
It's a really cool rat ogre
It looks really
with
cool.
that spear sticking out of its stomach.
It's like been chained up as well. If you look at, is that the chain on his?
Yeah,
left
well,
arm
maybe it's
Packmaster.
maybe it's a packmaster in their originally intended
Yeah,
role.
Yeah.
there? In the more lore version. So
Exactly.
what do packmasters do in the Warhammer lore?
Well, the packmasters basically they control the rat ogres, the swarms of rats, all kinds of molder creatures. But it's the man, or rather, the original name for the sort of real world implement is man catcher. But of course,
The man catcher.
yeah, but the Skaven, of course, they have the things catcher.
Right.
You're right. So
Man things.
and we took that idea and sort of ran with it, you know, as well, back in the lore, there is a special reason to why this particular clan hired so many of the things catcher version of the Packmasters.
The clan that we use, I guess.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna reveal that now.
No, sure. That's fine. As is reality. I guess you could say that idea really caught on.
Oh my god.
A bit far-fetched.
So the last piece of art.
One day you'll stop with the
requires
puns.
a little bit. The last piece of art requires a little bit of backstory.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty recently, like a few weeks back, in the Marvel comics, there was a revelation about Captain America.
Okay.
You've probably seen this online, but it
No.
turned out that that Captain America is actually Hydra.
Okay.
So it was a big thing. Lots of
Spoilers.
all over the internet, and it caught on to be a meme.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the next one is in light with that.
Okay.
Saltspire is a traitor.
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Saltspire is a Skaven.
Oh yeah.
I
Interesting.
forget who this
Because he does have this
is.
big trench coat that he's wearing, and you're not really
You
sure.
never
what's
know.
on
It could be
that.
2 rats, right?
Yeah.
He's pretty tall.
And this was by Why Do You Bark on Steam.
Very nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Nice.
Love the memes there.
Mhm.
Okay, that was a community spotlight for this week.
Okay.
Magnus disapproves.
Yeah,
If you want to
yeah.
submit your
No,
stuff.
I was expecting another picture. So.
Oh right,
Oh, no,
because
yeah,
we
yeah.
only did 4. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
We do about 3 every week. Just kind of spotlight the absolute funniest and coolest things. I guess that's the bonus mention for this week. Bit of funny memeing there.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep.
If you want to submit your cool artwork to be featured on a community spotlight, definitely go to the Steam forums, check out Reddit, post your stuff there. We are constantly checking through that. Hedge, our community manager, I think he's on holiday right now. He's typically scouring through the forums and sharing that stuff with us all. So we'll,
He's
we'll
the
definitely,
first. He's the first to see everything.
yeah, the first line of community
Yeah.
defense and spotlighting. So yes, thank you for this week's submissions. And without further ado, let's go to the reason why we're here today, which is to meet Magnus.
Hello.
Hello,
Welcome.
Magnus.
Hello.
Thank you, Tom.
So I think what we'll do is we'll start off with a couple of just typical questions that we always ask all the devs when we
Yes,
bring them into
yes.
the stream, and then we'll start taking some questions from you guys at home, and definitely ask some lore questions. Magnus is the guy behind that stuff here at Fatshark. He knows it inside and out, so test his knowledge. And we've got a couple of documents open on the screen here in case we forget
Yeah,
something.
because
Some cheats.
Cheat sheets.
So it'll be good fun. So Magnus, tell us, how did you start at Fatshark? What's the story?
yeah, that's a story. It's a very long time ago now. 2000 and I think 2006. My friend Robert, who we all know here, he's the
Producer at
producer.
Fatshark.
Producer, exactly. He was the first one who got in contact with Martin and Rickard and the core of Fatshark.
Sure.
And because at this time, Fatshark wasn't Fatshark, it was Northplay, and it was about 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
So me and
Very
Rob,
roots. of the-
yes, in a tiny basement. Yeah, exactly, which continually overheated, and and
The Bright Wizard roleplay.
and had a lot of blackouts
Right.
Yeah.
with no electricity, and out came the board games. Yeah, so kind of fun times.
A
Yeah.
classic sort of
The indie
indie,
dream.
startup
Yeah.
basement feeling.
Yes.
So you've been with us for a long time.
Yes,
been
I have.
writing for as long as Fatshark has been around, I guess.
Yeah, I've been writing for all our titles.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's, good or bad.
Sure.
Yeah.
Every game you learn something, I assume.
Yes, definitely.
Were you involved with the creation of the name Fatshark at all?
No. Well, I was in the poll, and my not very good suggestion. No one voted for it, which was
Right.
good. So yes, I was involved. That I did put my vote on Fatshark, the name, and I was pleased that
Nice.
the best
Right,
name
yeah.
won, because that's what we had. We had a poll.
Yeah, the poll. So they were within the studio. There
Yes,
was a
yes.
number of suggestions came in.
Yeah,
There were
well,
some really
not,
bad ones.
yeah, I guess not that many, because we weren't there so many yet. And so maybe 10 suggestions or something. I don't know.
Do you remember what yours was?
No, and I think we should all be grateful for that.
So moving on from that, I remember one of the worst ones was Bad Snail.
Oh yeah, I
Bad
yeah,
Bad
it's
Snail.
it's
Snail.
Jocke, very bad. yeah, I remember that one, and
A
I
real
was very
classic.
pleased that
Yeah.
one didn't win. Yes,
That's a good
So
one.
Fatshark was born.
yes,
And so you've been doing writing for as long as you've been with the company.
yes.
So what got you into writing? Like, what was your inspiration there?
Oh yeah. Actually, why sort of? It was actually I have to thank Robert for this because he's the one who sort of discovered me. Because he's the one who was still active doing role-playing games, you know, pen and paper, and he was doing a lot of projects of himself, making supplements and new rule systems and everything. And especially when it came to world building, which is my forte, my favorite.
Cool.
I continually just pestered him and said, "You're doing it wrong," you know, and
Harsh
Rule
feedback.
one.
yeah,
Rule one of becoming a game development
Yeah.
writer. Pester people.
exactly,
Definitely.
exactly. And and when it came down to it, I mean, the company was so small and everything. So he said, "Well, the important thing that the game that North Play, which we were then called." We had this game in mind, or they had this game in mind, because I wasn't part of it yet. But that was a science fiction game leaning towards perhaps a bit of hard science fiction, which is really my thing. You know?
Right.
I'm not really a fantasy guy, I'm more of a science fiction guy.
Okay.
So basically, my friend said, "Oh, you gotta check Magnus out. He knows this stuff." And so I basically had a weekend or half a week or something, and I just sat down and wrote 50 pages of world building, weapons, equipment,
Nice.
even some game design stuff, and
Cool.
and they bought it.
There you
So
go.
they bought
They're
you.
stuck with me since then.
The fine lines in the contract, right?
Yeah,
The fine
yeah.
print. And was that a game that ever took off, or was that ever released?
It didn't took off.
Okay.
It's I don't know if I should even mention
Oh, well,
its name.
Then we won't.
No.
we won't.
Because
Bad Snail.
maybe we'll get back to it someday. Who knows?
that'd be cool.
Who knows?
Getting back to the roots.
Yeah.
So, is there any advice that you would give for people who want to become writers?
That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because it's
Pester people.
yeah, pester people, and of course, I
Keep
mean,
writing.
keep writing, be very, but that's all kind of platitudes.
Yeah.
It speaks for itself. So have some luck. I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think there is a degree of luck with whatever job you want to do
Yeah.
in the games industry. You just have to
Yeah.
be there at the right time, I think.
Yeah.
And
I can give one advice which might seem superfluous. Read books.
yes.
Yeah.
can
And
imagine.
I mean, I have actually met writers who don't read books. I mean, it's kind of the base, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to kind of compare yourself to others, and always. I suppose that's part of the iteration process as well, is looking at how other people are doing things and trying to get better within your own
Yeah.
field.
And especially as me, because I'm in this business. I'm in this with a great handicap or whatever. Because English is not my first language.
Right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So
Your
that's
first
where
language is-
reading's going to come in straight away.
exactly.
Yeah. So what's your first language? Is it a Skaven language?
My first language is actually. Do you know Cthulhu? Oh, no. No.
Necronomicon? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Sounds cool. All right, let's move into some Q&A. I mean, why not? It's always interesting to take your questions. And if you're just joining us for the stream, this is a weekly stream we do every Tuesday at 5 p.m. CEST. You can check out at vermintide.com, the stream schedule, with some nice time zone conversions going on there, so you can check out what CEST means where you're from, because it's a weird time zone. So if you check our streams out every week, we're doing giveaways each week, Q&As, meeting devs, playing with you guys, and announcing cool secret stuff. So without further ado, Q&A time.
Yes.
Give Magnus your coolest questions. And the first one, it comes from Litwin L. He's got an ETA on quests and contracts. So that's interesting, because you and I just talked about that, Magnus. Yeah. And I know that we're still kind of... The initial goal with quests and contracts was to release it back in May, but it became pushed. We kind of looked at it and we went, it's not quite there yet. It's not quite what we want. And we had to look at redesigning a couple of elements to it and really making it as good as it possibly could be. right? And I mean, with game development, it's always an iterative process. You're always going to find things that could be better, and we try to keep things to a certain standard before we push them out. Right now, we're in the case of it is getting closer and closer to a state where we're happy with it, and it's going to be, you know, going through quality assurance rounds, doing testing, and then we start pushing it out to you folks. I know, Magnus, you're wrapping up the writing right now.
Yeah.
For I guess it's for like the... What is it you're wrapping up, actually? Go ahead and explain.
Yeah. It's just the quest and contract needs some descriptions, right? And that's it.
It's more fun that way.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff is it? I mean, we've been talking about like having different quest givers, I guess, in a way.
Yes.
And like, how are you telling those stories?
Not that much, unfortunately. Okay. Not yet. What we do have, we have characters that are based in Ubersreich, or maybe they're definitely based in the lore.
Sure.
And they want you to. They have their agendas, and they want you to do stuff for them.
And so they're contacting you via the bounty board.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
But I don't know if I can talk too much about it. You know, it's spoiler territory and all that. So
sure,
yeah.
We'll let people explore that for themselves.
Yeah.
No ETA right now, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll have some more, like a specific release date soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, we always feel like we could give a date and then we could miss it, and we could give another date and miss it. And it's better for us to just kind of go, when are we realistically going to be able to ship? And people won't
ready.
be exactly, and then people don't have to take holidays and then realize we missed the date, that kind of stuff. So we'll be in touch.
I just wanted to say a point about writing. I think that I realised when we were talking about quests and contracts there, I think you've been involved in every single release we've done so far. It's like everything we've done needs some sort of writing done for it.
Yeah.
And then your involvement varies depending on what it is that we're working on, of course.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I think that's one interesting thing with writing, is that you tend to be needed everywhere.
Yeah.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But
and I look at it this way too, that it's interesting when you're doing a Warhammer game.
Yeah.
That it becomes not so, because in other IPs it might be, you know, let that guy take care of it. You know, it's just another round of this and that. You always have to be careful when you're working with an IP.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
definitely.
You can't just.
Yeah,
you can't just wing it.
No, you can't wing it.
Would this actually make sense with the World Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, not being able to wing it, I'm not sure if I'd be able to manage that.
That's what we do every live stream on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. CET.
Exactly.
There's no script.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get a writer for the streams. So the second question is from Marceronni, who says, how much of our hero's background have you created already? Just what is in game, or are they completely fleshed out?
They are a bit more fleshed out than what's in the game. And when you say what's in the game, I assume you also mean that what's on the page, on the site, and I mean everything officially released.
Yeah.
You have the bios there and everything.
If you weren't aware of the bios on the website, it's worth checking them out, definitely, because they give a lot of background information about the heroes.
Can we show those off on the stream?
Sure.
This is on vermintide.com. You can check out. There's a game info page with some more descriptions and like some backstory and bios of the heroes. It's a lot of fun to just delve into that. There are a couple of things that are really interesting there, especially if you play the game and you don't know about them, like the relationship between Victor and Sienna, our White Wizard and our Witch Hunter. That's pretty fun. And
I love, one of my favourite highlights of when we were making the trailer, the launch trailer, was learning about the interactions between Victor, or learning about their relationship between Victor and Sienna, and then seeing that in the trailer. It's only for like half a second, but you notice him spoilers if you're going to read it, but you notice him taking handcuffs off her.
Yeah.
And then it's
so
just small things about that. It's cool.
So there's definitely a bit of stuff there for people to get their teeth in. But is that something that we're working more with on the future?
Yeah, definitely. I do want to add one thing here, though. That even though I am the only resident writer here at Game Writers, here at Fatshark, for Vermintide, we do have hired help. Two game writer. Here I go again. Games Workshop affiliated writers.
Right.
Yeah.
We use two of them for main game.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because the workload would have been totally impossible
for
me, if not for them.
Absolutely.
And especially since I didn't come in as early as I wanted in this project. I was tied up on another project we
Cool.
were doing,
Yeah.
and so
And I suppose
without them, it would have I wouldn't have had the time,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of lines, voice lines in
Yeah.
our
The voice lines has been a huge effort, I think, from your part. Definitely, it's like the amount of voice lines we have in the game.
Yeah,
It's very impressive. Very impressive.
Absolutely. Cool.
All right.
So third question. He whom the gods detest asks us, what have your thoughts been on the whole free weekend ordeal? Was it what you were expecting? That's an interesting question, actually.
Yeah.
I think we didn't really think very much about the free weekend beforehand, other than like, let's make sure we're prepared with support and that the back end, that the people who are needed in case something goes horribly wrong are on standby, effectively.
Yeah.
What we did see with the free weekend was obviously there was a spike of new players coming into the game, and I think part of that is that we released the new DLC at the same time. We released Drakenfels kind of simultaneously to the free weekend. So we did see an influx of new players coming in. Very interesting to see the new players' reactions as well. Getting people who've never played the game in, or in a lot of cases who've never even heard of the game, coming in and playing for the first time.
It's always refreshing doing that, definitely, because, like, I mean, you can only really launch a game once, right?
Yeah.
So you release the game, and then you get all your new players into the game, and then you find out their opinions. But then, after the game's been out for a while, you don't get that experience again.
Sure.
So we've been adding all of these things to the game, and it's interesting getting new people in again, and then seeing their opinions of, what's wrong with the game, or what they think could be improved, or what they really enjoy about the game. Especially since things like the Shrine weren't released when we first released the game. It's nice knowing about people's opinions about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things
as a fresh experience.
Yeah, excellent. One of the things that did take us by surprise was the review score. On the other hand, we were getting a lot more negative reviews than normal.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of discussions internally, like what that might be because of.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's a mix of maybe the game isn't hooking people quickly enough, or maybe it's just not competing with other kind of games as time, or whatever it is. So that's something we're definitely looking into and kind of seeing what is the reason behind these negative reviews for new players.
I think that's to be expected, though, because I mean, when you release a game, the people that are playing it and reviewing it are people that have bought the game and had like an interest prior to buying it. Whereas now, when you hit with a free weekend, you're going to have people that probably don't have any interest in Warhammer, probably didn't know what the game was. Like, they're just going to jump in the game and then probably leave a review. And I like, there's no reason to like be down, I don't think.
No,
because you're going to get a lot of people that weren't going to enjoy the game in the first place, and that's valuable as well. So
I always think it's interesting, even if it's somebody who obviously it's not the game for them, it's still a valid point of feedback to take and kind of look at like, why aren't these people enjoying the game as much as the other people, because we have had very positive reviews overall.
Exactly.
And so
and we want
that's
as
been
many
interesting.
people to enjoy it as possible, right? So
exactly.
yes,
it's not for everyone, but we want to make as many people as we can happy.
Yes.
Well, that's that's dangerous, but more or less. All right. Next question from Mian Baufren, who asks, are there plans to rebalance weapons and maps? Yes, simply put. It's one of those things, like, balance is an ongoing effort and something we want to continuously explore, I think, which goes for pretty much any area of the game. Is we always want to try to keep older content up to date and try to explore what we can do to improve things, and balance is definitely something that's an ongoing effort and that we hope to continuously work on.
I think there's definitely going to be rebalancing of maps and weapons leading up to the consoles as well. Yeah. Because, I mean, the game is a lot harder to play on consoles, so I'm hoping that we're going to be doing some tweaks there. But whether they'll see their way into the PC version or not, we'll see. I think we'll have to see, this worked really well, actually. Maybe we can put this in the PC version, but we'll have to see.
I think we're going to make the PC version easier for console. Like that, I don't think that makes sense. But we'll figure out
of course not.
What makes sense.
Yeah, for each platform, absolutely.
So, question from LiamsBeard. What beard? Magnus, are you held to very strict deadlines when writing, to the point where a lot of your ideas have to get cut, or more simply described?
Yeah. There's a lot of this. I wish I had time to do more.
Yeah.
But I'll have to settle with this.
Yeah.
It's such a rich world.
Yeah, but I have to say that goes for a lot of games. A lot of games I've been working on. Yeah. But especially.
There's always more writing that you can do, I guess. And it's just something you have to deal with as being a writer.
Yes.
I think that's very true for almost all aspects of making games. Is we always have ideas of how we can improve things, and if we only had infinite time, we'd continue to do
Exactly.
that. I think given 10 years more, there'd still be another 10 years of things we want to add.
Of course.
I can also add that it's special also because we haven't touched on that yet. I do voice direction too.
Right.
I'm there when we recorded it, and in the studio. There's been a lot of instances where I want another hour, or I want
just more lines, more lines.
And just retakes and
So it's been working with those actors.
Wonderful. It's been bloody amazing. They're so talented. They're so it's the best bunch I ever most talented actors I've ever worked with.
Super good.
So,
I mean, one fun piece of trivia here. This is. I'm not going to go into details here because that might spoil something for those of you watching Game of Thrones out there. But one of our voice actors actually recently starred in an episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Okay, we can tell who, right?
Yeah, we can tell who. Bardin, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's his real name, Bardin.
Bardin the dwarf, IRL.
Yes.
Has starred in a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, as a dwarf.
It's a very small, very very brief role,
Yeah.
but it's very important.
It's a crucial one.
It's a crucial character in the Game of Thrones backstory.
So look that up if you're up to date on Game of Thrones.
Not gonna say who it is, just in case you haven't watched the episode yet. If you haven't, you're crazy and you should. I would almost say you're mad if you haven't watched that episode.
Exactly.
There we go.
Yeah. You'll be the king of fools if you haven't.
All right. So the next question is from ExTerrstr. ExTerrstr. How is the DLC doing? Is it performing to expectations? I'd say it's been going really well so far. Yeah, we were pretty much when we released it. It was at the top of Steam's like popular new releases and things like that. It was doing pretty well in the top selling lists, which is super fun, and it's really. It's really enjoyable for us to put that time and effort into DLCs and see them selling that well. Yeah. And definitely looking at review scores and what people have been saying about them. I think the new locations have worked out really well.
Definitely.
So, exploring outside of Uberstrike and getting into the castle of Drachenfels and the dungeons outside and, blowing up the portals. It's good. And I think people have really been enjoying that so far.
Can I throw in a question for Magnus? How is writing outside of Uberstrike going to Drachenfels, which is a very known place in the Warhammer universe? But how was that?
It was nice. I finally got down to read the Drachenfels novel.
Nice.
For this, I've heard about it for 20 years, 30 years, something.
That's cool.
And I finally got my ass down and read it. And it was really interesting because it could be a bit tricky because now we're talking old school Warhammer, and the Warhammer world and what is official according to GW,
like what's canon.
Yeah, exactly. That it's subject to change, as we all know.
Yeah.
So we had to check some stuff really carefully.
For sure.
But it all ended up good. And just as a side note, I think working with a developer like Games Workshop in the beginning. They are meticulous about their lore, and so you have to.
As they should be.
Yes, they should be. So you have to gain their trust. But I think that with Vermintide and what we've done, and with passion and the knowledge that we have, that might sound like bragging, but
that's okay.
But to be fair, I am not the ultimate lore expert on Warhammer in this studio. Yeah. We have guys who are better than me than that.
Pretty obsessed.
Yeah.
I think your knowledge is a lot better than some people in the office, though.
Of course, but
me included.
But I'm just.
No, for sure, and it's such a big world. There's so much to delve into. So
yeah.
So I can see that being an ongoing challenge.
Yeah, and my point is that working with Games Workshop was first you have to prove yourself.
Yeah.
And then they become more like and now. We've ended up with, writing canon.
Yeah.
Ourselves.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy fun.
Yes.
Really cool.
But crazy. Absolutely mad, you guys.
Okay, next question is from
Andridge.
No, we have one from
that?
The very top one, right?
That's this one.
ExTerrstr.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
Oh, that's the one.
We already did that one.
No,
this one is new.
Were there any plot elements or something about characters that got changed drastically during development?
Oh yeah, there was.
The question is by JL Boone.
JL Boone.
Okay. Hello, JL Boone. Thanks for asking. Drastically, no. I can say for change that we really needed a connection for Kruber to have a connection to Ubersreich.
Right.
And Ubersreich is in Reichland. And when I came into the project, Kruber was from Talabekland, which is why he worships Tal and everything.
Right.
So that's just on the top of my head, a correction that was made. And then, yes, there's been a bunch of other kind of drastically, but we're heavy into spoiler territory then.
Right.
and even if you have played this game back and forth, it's spoiler territory of what is about to come.
Right.
So I can't comment on that.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. All right, let's move away from that question before we say anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. Before we put a foot or two.
Yeah.
Andrej asks, could you add a sound notifier to the heroic killing blow on at least special rats? Tom? Could we?
We definitely could, yes.
Confirmed on stream.
The designers have asked me a few times, or mentioned a few times, that we should add some feedback for specific traits, because not all traits have feedback currently. And Killing Blow and Heroic Killing Blow are on my list of things to add feedback for. When I'll get time to do that, I'm not sure, but hopefully soon.
Very cool. GRAAK85 asks, your favorite Warhammer Fantasy roleplay adventure?
Oh yeah, I have to go back to the years of nostalgia here and say, as a young impressionable person, the Enemy Within campaign, the whole campaign, it made such an impact on me. I mean, it was the first time I've ever been received, these handouts, beautifully printed handouts. That was totally new for me back then, and since then, Warhammer has been my favorite fantasy universe.
Cool.
Awesome.
Totally.
And now you're working with it.
Yes. Funny how
circle.
that ended up. So yeah, the Enemy Within campaign. I haven't returned to it, so I don't know how well it would stand up today.
No, keep it as a nostalgia.
Exactly.
Point. It's never
Exactly.
worth.
But I do have to mention in modern times though that the Edge of Night has been so important for Vermintide.
Right.
Since it deals with Ubersreich and the Skaven, and it's actually a big part of the Vermintide backstory too.
Cool.
What happens in Edge of Time?
Edge of Night.
Edge of Night.
Yeah.
Sorry. It is actually part of the Vermintide story.
Cool.
And it's a really, really good adventure.
So check that out.
Yes. Please do.
And you can go play as Bard and the Dwarf.
No.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
You could make it work.
Yes.
No.
Of course it's
No, you can't.
No, you can't. You have to deal with me first. You have to get a written consent, letter of
So
consent.
send Magnus your email.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop some of these because they're one of those we've already done. Edward Vlad asks, I have a couple of questions from Magnus. Did you write any of the Vermintide heroes? And if so, what other possible Warhammer-based characters would you like to write about?
Oh yeah. Well, yes, they're all mine, but it's all a collaborative effort too.
Yeah.
Some of as we just touched upon, some of the backstories were already in the works when I joined. And then I started changing shit until I liked it. So yeah, and if he speaks about, did he write any of the? Does he mean dialogue lines or? Cause
I think it's.
I guess so. Yeah.
I think it's in general. Like, are there any other possible Warhammer-based characters you would like to write about?
So, yeah. Of course, we all have our favorites. And
Who are your favorites?
I would, to complement this party, I would really, really like an Ulrican priest, because then we have. It would bring a lot. It would bring the warrior priest, but not the warrior priest that everybody expected.
Sure.
Because I like the idea of bringing something close to your expected, but you didn't know you wanted.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And that would make a very because if we bring in we might do it. I'm not saying anything, but think about if we bring in a Sigmarite priest, they would be basically on the same team as Saltspire,
Right.
and maybe it'd be too much of an ally buddy
Yeah.
Kruger.
High five.
You need some
if
tension, right?
Yeah,
Some-
exactly. And if we bring an Ulrican priest, you will have tension.
Yeah.
These because they don't always see eye to eye.
That's cool.
So that's a one of many ideas. Of course, I'm also into Bretonnian Knights, and I'm on the. I mean, would you like to tell me about your idea for?
I would love to introduce the Tomb King personally. I'm not going to write about it.
Yeah,
I'm a terrible writer.
yeah.
Oh, wow, that'd be
But
so
you're
much
very, but you're very persistent.
Oh, right.
I'm a terrible writer. Yep.
Brilliant.
But you're very persistent about your skeletons.
I want a Tomb King.
Yeah.
I want one so bad.
Skink priest, man.
Skink Priest. That's what Blondie wants. Tom, what would you like to have Magnus write about?
I'm undecided now. I'm not sure currently. I'll get back to you on that one.
All right, we'll move on. It's derailing. Okay.
So
Fatshark Blondie has a question.
Oh, Fatshark Blondie.
What's
thanks.
it like to know that you're writing is Warhammer canon, and what was it like to work with an IP like Warhammer?
Yeah, we already touched upon that. And what it's like, well, it's amazing. It's like an honor or something. It's fun.
It's crazy.
It's yeah, crazy. Yeah, I can only, well, it's been a pleasurable experience. And the main thing that is, but Games Workshop is particularly notoriously very defensive about their lore, but not, I shouldn't say defensive, but they're just
They care
Yeah,
about
of
it.
course.
care
I mean,
about
they care about it, right? So,
they care about
That makes
it.
sense.
But I've also noticed this throughout all the years that when you work with an IP, you have to prove yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and
So it goes back to what we were talking about earlier,
Exactly.
effectively.
And do you want to keep working with the Warhammer?
oh yeah. I can't. I mean, Warhammer Fantasy is one of my top 10, whatever,
Top 10
and definitely undisputed number one when it comes to fantasy.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. I was I think it was this last weekend. I was playing a mod for Mountain Blade, which is a Warhammer mod. It was just great. It's this community made thing, and I was running around with my Chaos army, just taking over the world. I just sacked Altdorf the other day. It was great.
Oh my god!
you fun.
You heathen.
I did Tomb Kings before that. That was fun too. All right, where are we in the questions here?
Very top one.
Lelouch v Britannia, I think it says. One. Britannia 1. Will we further explore some of the backgrounds for the characters?
Yes, we will. If I have any say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it goes without saying, to be honest, that with every update we do, we talked about this before, how we're always adding in more voiceovers for the characters, more lines effectively telling that story.
Yeah.
But I guess further exploring the backgrounds is something that we're hoping to do in the future as well.
Yeah, because the backgrounds are tied to what they're doing now, and they are. Each character has their own story arc.
Yeah.
The characters are not in the same place at the beginning of Vermintide, at the end of at the end of Vermintide.
Sure.
And then after Vermintide, we have the Dragonfalls, and maybe more DLCs, and their story arc is continuing.
Right.
Great.
Hopefully they'll all make it through the end times then.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. Question from Jammy T. Dodgers. Hey Liam, how's it going, man? It's going well. And he's asked me a very rude question about my beard, which I will refuse. Hunter5794 asks, will Vermintide expand past the Skaven? That is a very interesting question. I think mostly the title Vermintide is very... it gives away that we're working with Skaven, right? It's very much focused on that. But I know something that we've been asked this so many times if we're going to add more races, and one of the ones that's been coming up a lot, or so many have come up, like orcs and chaos, and there's so much we'd like to explore. And I know that way back when we released the game, our CEO Martin got this question, and I believe he said that there was more than 50% chance that we do another race at some point.
Yeah.
And every time we get that question, I feel like that goes up a little bit. There's a higher and higher chance. So yeah, you can. We're not going to be able to say anything today about that, but you can definitely look forward to expanding past Skaven in the future, I believe. Bjorn van de Sand asks, who came up with Lumberfoots and what is their home address?
Yeah. That's actually
Magnus.
that's not me. That's not me.
not you.
No, that's Matt. Matt wrote
Matt.
Matt wrote the
Address on the screen here.
yeah, exactly. He did amazing work with both the Bard and the Dwarf and Carillion the Elf. So I say I still wrote about 40-50% of it, but he did the groundwork there with laying down the terms and everything.
Yeah.
Because he is the author of the Warhammer Fantasy book of the army book for the Wood Elves.
Okay.
Of
So
the
if you need
edition.
some lore on Wood Elves, then I guess
Exactly.
he's the
So
guy to go for.
he was the guy to go to,
Yeah.
and he did a great work.
Awesome. He's a real Drengbrazi, isn't he?
Yeah, and I don't know where he got. I mean, Lumberfoot speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's great. Halfblind86 asks, what are the undead doing during all this? That's an interesting question. What are they up to?
Well, in the end times timeline, they're plotting and scheming and running around. And let's see if I get this right now. I might have messed up, but they're acquiring artifacts and stuff.
Right.
And until recently, Sylvania was caged by this magical wall thing. Wow, I sound like a guy who really doesn't like Warhammer. Yeah.
All this wall thing, you
yeah,
guys, and
yeah.
like walking around. So collecting artifacts. That's interesting.
Yeah. And, well, in the end, they ally with the Empire. So, in the end times.
So,
But,
undead playable character.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? You say so?
Yeah, your Tomb King
Yeah.
fantasy.
Need I say more?
Well, I can only add that, as a general vision, we're not painting. We've never really been about painting the big picture about the end times.
No,
Sure.
no.
We're more of fans of the regular Warhammer Fantasy. So we want to do more of a down to earth. I don't know, more personal, not the
Well,
huge
that's why
battles.
we're focusing on these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like focus on distinct stories of
Exactly.
five people.
It becomes this like
trying to focus on
microscopic thing where it's like
Exactly.
it's these five guys and their friends kind of taking on the world almost a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
But they're not really. I mean, I guess our heroes aren't really looking to save the world here.
No, they're
They're looking to save themselves.
They're
Yeah.
looking to save themselves, and this again goes into the character arcs. They do have different motivations, and some of which are definitely not known yet. So
That's cool. So we can look forward to that in the future, hopefully.
Yep.
Good stuff. Okay. Where are we? Mr. Game and Swatch asks, I've noticed that the characters get more friendly with each other on higher difficulties. Is this my imagination?
It is. What we do have is that we have a thing called character arcs and progression. So you have different dialogues in the prologue and Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. The relationships start changing a bit.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the.
Because I would assume what's happening there is when you're playing on higher difficulties, you're probably playing with more skilled players. And they're probably healing each other more and doing this like friendly thing.
Maybe.
So I could see that
Just
being
doing
like,
things
oh,
that-
thanks, buddy.
Yeah, issue more. Yeah,
Maybe,
That's true.
yeah.
That's true.
That's
That
an
might be
interesting point.
It's like a natural kind of progression thing.
But again, it's tied down to which levels you play. If you
Yeah.
play levels that are chronologically later, then some of them are not as hostile as they were in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's true.
So if you want hostility, play Horn of Magnus. I guess.
I mean,
Exactly.
I kind of feel like when I was
Do
playing...
we really need to say to players to play more of that?
Yeah,
No,
but your
that's
level,
true.
surely.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
I think one thing that struck out to me when I was playing Drakenfels for the first time was I kind of felt like Kruber was being a bit more annoyed than usual. Is that my imagination?
Well,
I got that impression as well.
yeah. Well, first of all, Kruber he's the straight guy of the bunch, and he really doesn't like being anywhere near Castle Drakenfels.
Yeah.
So but other than that, let me think.
Well, we can segue into the next
Yeah,
question because
yeah.
that's quite nice. Jael Boone asks, would it be accurate to say that Kruber has PTSD?
Yeah, it would be. Actually,
And maybe
yes,
that kind of answers
yes.
that question a little bit.
Yes, I actually wrote it. I wrote it exactly like that.
Nice.
And
Well
then
observed.
we couldn't really well observed. We couldn't really use the term since it's a very clinical modern term. You
Right.
know? So it's more of night terrors and
Yeah.
He sleeps uneasily sleeping.
Yeah.
Mr. Game & Watch, did Magnus secretly name that massive horn after himself? Magnus,
We knew that was coming up.
We
Did
knew
you?
that was coming up. No. No, the whole Magnus bit of Überreich and the whole which all is from Magnus the Pious, the
Magnus the
emperor,
Pious.
the great emperor hero
of
so-
writing at Fatshark.
Exactly. So yes,
Look it up, guys.
Yes, totally true. No, no, that's a coincidence.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We have got another question on Twitching Dough. Will there ever be a hardcore mode where we have melee friendly fire?
That's a good question.
I know that, like,
When we first added Cataclysm to the game, we initially had melee friendly fire on in that game mode, and it's tricky.
it just sucked.
Yeah.
Honestly, it just sucked because
It's
it was.
tricky.
You've got this game about sticking together, and you're constantly hitting your friends, and it just wasn't fun. It just got to that point where it's supposed to be about playing as a team, and
Yeah.
now we can't stand close to each other, and it just became
Yeah.
really, really frustrating to play.
It's tricky.
I think something like melee friendly fire might work in a game where there's like 2 of you. When there's 4, it's just too chaotic.
Especially when you need to be turning around all the time and you're
Yeah.
not sure, like, if your friend is behind you, you whip round and it was your friend that hit you, and then you're swinging at your friend, and it's just, it was too confusing.
It's just awkward.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Ranged, at least with ranged, you can see who's in front of you and you can try and aim around your friends. But with melee, because it's such like sweeping strikes, it's a lot harder to not hit your friends.
Exactly.
I mean, Bardin might be a little bit easier to not hit, but
He's got the height advantage for once.
For once, yeah. The others might. Maybe
I
not.
think.
Can I just mention?
Yep.
Because I have an idea for that will never come to fruition.
Bring it.
Maybe. Well, what I would like to do is to have Warhammer realism mode.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, with because me being the story guy and me being been there a while with this IP, it kind of takes me off a bit about the reload times for black powder weapons and stuff. And I know like it's me and some grognard in Belfast who wants this. 2 people.
I think that would be really cool. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, like a change of pace and
Yeah.
you really get that like permanent injuries kind of thing maybe.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but very very slowly reload times, but up the damage, make them really devastating
Sure.
when
Yeah.
you unleash, because
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
I think the idea of a hardcore mode is something we've discussed. It's just the melee friendly fire aspect of it that I personally wouldn't say that we're going to do, but who knows? Who knows what we're going to
who
go?
knows?
We got another question from Jail Boone. Was Victor's voice always meant to be this way, or did you just go with what Tim Bentic went for? I can't help but feel that his voice was meant to be much gruffer when you came up with him.
Wow. He has always been the point of content. He's always been. He's not everybody's favorite character. His
Right.
voice is not everybody's favorite.
I think it's great, personally.
Yeah, I absolutely love him. I think we might have lost him a bit at the recording there. That he went too much in one way, with the overly sneering. It depends who you ask here. Because yes, I sit in with the, but we also have a creative director who sometimes sit in with the voice direction, and.
So is it fair to say that kind of developed organically as the recording process began?
It developed when we first heard Tim Bentic, and then
Right.
everybody is, are like, wow, this guy.
Right.
Just listen to it.
This is Soulspire.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
But we always, back to delivering, some people, I want a witch hunter, he should be cool, he should be gruff, he should be the silent, really, Well, let's give them a witch hunter, but we give them a bleeping Gestapo witch hunter,
Yeah, something like you said earlier, right? Something that you didn't know you wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Deliver.
that's cool.
That's fun. All right, we'll do one final question now, and that is from Hexagum. If you would potentially work, the way we're going to answer this is how the 3 of us very, very personally would want to do, not how we Fatshark would do. If you would potentially work with the new races, who are you more interested to work with? Chaos Warbands or Beastmen or freaking Chaos Dwarves?
Chaos Dwarfs. That's my answer.
Chaos Dwarves?
Yeah, Chaos
What do you say,
Dwarves would
Magnus?
be amazing.
Well, I have to be the boring lore guy here, I guess. I think I'd prefer. It's a tie between Chaos Warbands and Beastmen. It really depends on what type of Chaos Warbands too. You know.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. Chaos Dwarfs, not so much. There's such an. There's such a.
Shut down, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I love them from I don't know, just.
I understand that you love the idea.
Yeah, I love the idea of a Chaos Dwarf.
Yeah, but
exactly.
it hasn't got the leverage in the
No,
universe.
absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no Tomb Kings in the list, so unfortunately I'm going to have to pass.
Yeah.
And that is all the questions we have time for today.
Thank
But
you very
now-
much. Great questions.
But now, the reason why most of you are probably here today is the weekly giveaway that we do here on the stream. We're going to be giving away 10 hats.
All right.
And the hat that we give away on stream is called Zaladrin Galclad. And Magnus is going to tell us the story about that as Blondie starts to set up the actual giveaway.
Oh.
So,
I am.
I'm going to go and
You're
grab some
intense.
fresh air because I'm not feeling too great. So
okay. Tom's going to leave
I'll
us
be
for the
back
giveaway.
possibly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you around, Tom.
See you in
See
a
ya.
bit.
Tom's going to run to his phone and get on the giveaway and try to be a part of this.
It's time.
That's what he
I've
meant.
just subscribed, so.
He's just subscribed. All right, can we get the giveaway wheel up on this screen as well, so we know what we're doing? Okay, so if you want to be a part of the giveaway, there are 2 easy steps for you to follow. You are going to have to follow our channel on Twitch, so head over to twitch.tv/FatsharkGames, hit that follow button. Otherwise, we can't send you a key, and that would be unfortunate, at the very least. And we're going to do a hashtag today, which is, what's the hashtag?
Sick Tom.
Sick Tom. Let's do Sick Tom. So the hashtag is Sick Tom. Put that in the chat. You only need to put it in once, and that's going to include you in the giveaway. We're giving away 10 copies of Zaladrin Galclad, which is a hat, or a headpiece rather.
It's a helmet.
It's a helmet, even further for Mr. Barding Gorkson.
Yes.
So Magnus, what can you tell us about Zaladrin Galclad? What's the story behind this helmet?
Yeah. I'd first like to just address the name. Saladrin is from King Saladin, but as avid players would have noticed, it's a lot of Galclads on the dwarven helmets.
Right.
That's because we couldn't. There wasn't a proper name, an official word for for helmet in Klinkarhun,
Really?
the dwarven language. So I just took a gal, which is head, and a clad, which is armor. Head armor. Which is now the new dwarven word for helmet.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I
So Vermintide introduced the name for helmet in the dwarven
yes,
language.
we did, because I haven't, to be honest, to be fair, I haven't really thought much about it until now. But since Games Workshop just made that's okay,
Yeah.
then it's canon now. So
There you go.
pat on our backs for
Yeah,
that.
man. Good job, good job. Sneaking
Yeah.
words into languages. All right, put hashtag SickTom, one word, into the chat. You can be part of this giveaway to win the helmet, which commemorates King Zaladrin. If I'm
Yes,
saying that right.
and the King Saladin is kind of relevant for because he's the king that actually helped out. He sent the dwarven engineers to build the magnificent bridge in the middle of Ubersreich and the walls and everything, all the defensive fortifications. This he did because he kind of partly felt guilty, because this was 200 years ago during the Great War against Chaos.
Right.
And so he had sort of a deal treaties that he should help Ubersreich should the bad guys attack, but he was busy fighting Chaos alongside Magnus the Pious, the hero of that time, the hero emperor.
Cool.
So instead he said, well, okay, I couldn't defend you against let's see, it was greenskins, and then actually Skaven.
All right.
Skaven appeared, as always, opportunistic as they are.
Yeah.
After the greenskins and there was a chaos cult as well. Actually, there were members of the chaos cult who sort of transformed into demons inside Ubersreich while the orcs laid siege. So these demons, they really liked to fight. So they broke out and fought with the greenskins outside the Ubersreich. Yeah.
That's cool. So when you're going to man the ramparts or Black Powder, you're actually visiting locations that these dwarven engineers built.
Yes.
That's really cool. Okay, let's get on with the giveaway. Spin the wheel. So today we're giving away 10 copies of this brand new helmet. And would you like to read the first name, Mr. Magnus.
If you tell me where it is.
It's over here.
Okay, hello. General Peaches, congratulations.
Congratulations, General Peaches. Thank you for joining the stream. We'll be sending you a copy of the new Dwarven Helmet, which is a word that we actually invented. So that's really cool.
Yes.
Doing the second one, what's it going to be? It's another helmet. We're actually only giving away helmets today.
Yeah. Edo, 1987. Is that a Japanese fella? The Edo
Could be.
dynasty? Yeah, the
Could be.
Edo era.
Congratulations. All right. Number 3. It's another hat, and it's going to go to Vecro. Vecro, congratulations. Thank you for joining the stream.
Congratulations.
I'm recognizing the avatar.
Yeah.
And this one is going to not Gunther,
No.
but
NV. Krindi. Krindi.
congratulations. All right, let's do the next one. It's a hat for Blackout 1034. Congratulations.
Woo.
And now we got 4 left. 5 left, actually. Yeah. Next one goes to Rockle _
Rociel.
Rociel.
If I have my way.
Rochelle.
Yeah.
Rochelle
Oh,
underscore.
yes.
That kind of works. Kind of works. Writing team right here, man. Just naming characters.
Yeah.
Is that the name of the Tomb King hero that we're totally doing?
Yes.
Rochelle.
The Tombkin Empress. You mean.
Is that?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
one of these.
Yeah.
I see, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Novo Inuit.
Novo Inuit. Congratulations, you've just won a hat. Thank you for joining the stream. And only 3 left.
Oh yeah.
The third final one. Is there a word for that? It's not penultimate. Third ultimate.
Yeah.
Is it like
Tri-ultimate. I don't know.
tri-ultimate.
Yeah. I think there's.
We're trying ultimately.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ultimate.
Garf 666.
Thank you for joining the stream. Congratulations. You just won a hat. And only 1 of 2 left. And this one is going to. This is Tuna K.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So we got 1 more hat to give out now. Magnus, is there anything you'd like to say to the stream viewers before we leave them?
Thanks for all the support. Thanks for the great questions. Hope to see you guys. Hope to hear more of your very interesting
Fan theories.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you one more question before we do the last spin of the wheel here. What can you tell us about Cousin Okri?
Oh, I can't tell you much about him. That is so heavy spoiler. So, no, I'm not. My mouth is shut regarding Cousin Okri.
I tried, guys. Are we going to hear anything more about him in the future?
Oh yeah.
Okri confirmed. There we go. And the last hat goes to Gromstar. Congratulations, Gromstar. Thank you for joining the stream today. That is all the hats we have to give out on this week's live stream. You can check out our website, vermintide.com. You can check out the streaming schedule. We stream every Tuesday, 5 p.m. CEST. Next week, we're doing a surprise stream. So we're doing something brand new, something super cool that we totally scripted for that time. And
as always,
do we even know what we're doing? Of course we do. So check out that next Tuesday. Tom, unfortunately, left us not feeling too well. But Magnus, thank you so much for joining the stream.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure having you on board and having you answer the questions about some of the lore and writing behind Vermintide and Fatshark as well. So before we go, we're going to do a quick subscriber shout out. So our Twitch channel is partnered on Twitch, which means you can be a part of it by subscribing. You can spend a small fee to get some exclusive goodies, such as a hat and some exclusive emoticons for the Twitch chat. All that money goes to charity, so it's a good cause and you get some free stuff. So it's all good. And the hat we're giving away for subscribers is called Homeward. I don't know if you know anything about that one. It's for Kruber.
Yeah, it's about Kruber's his story, his revelation that he before Vermintide starts.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on a journey home. That's his thing. He has, as someone really very acutely noticed, that he has PTSD. He's sick of he's done the war thing now for so long, and he just wants to get home to his farm and just take it easy.
So that's the hat he wears going homeward.
It's no. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Canon. Confirmed.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is all for the stream. I'm going to quick shout out to the subscribers for this week. Mr. Dead Panther, Mr. Slyer, Baggy Mage, and McBashD. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. You shall be receiving the Homeward headpiece for Kruber be coming in your Twitch inbox at some point quite soon. We have to send these manually, so sometimes it takes a little longer, but you can be expecting those soon. Thank you again. We'll see you again next week and beyond.